Now we have the latest on that sexual misconduct case against Oscar winner Kevin Spacey, the actor appearing in court where a not guilty plea was entered on his behalf. Lindsay Davis is there in Nantucket, Massachusetts with more. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. Right after that court appearance, Kevin Spacey then flew back to Washington, D.C. on a private jet. He then got into the driver's seat of an SUV and was promptly pulled over for speeding. Now, he was able to make it out without a speeding ticket. But as for the case against him that he was arraigned for in the building right behind me, that still looms large.
Off the sidewalk. This morning, disgraced actor Kevin Spacey, who once shined when surrounded by cameras on the red carpet, now faces a different kind of attention.
What are you feeling today, Mr. Spacey?
Mobbed by cameras and helicopters on his way to a Massachusetts courtroom, accused of groping a teenage male back in 2016.
This complaint charges that in the town of Nantucket on July 8, 2016.
Standing stone-faced and silent in court, the stakes are quite high for the 59-year-old actor, who's now charged with felony sexual assault, potentially facing up to 5 years in prison if convicted. His legal team entering a not guilty plea on his behalf. His attorney also requesting the judge preserve the accuser's cell phone records, which include Snapchat videos taken by the then 18-year-old, who says he texted and Snapchatted his girlfriend during the incident.
I simply don't want to see any of that data deleted, destroyed, even inadvertently, or in other words, in any other way manipulated.
On Monday, neither the alleged victim nor his mother, former Boston News anchor Heather Unruh, appeared in court, though she has spoken publicly blasting Spacey in the past.
Shame on you for what you did to my son. This was a criminal act.
Spacey, who's been accused of improper conduct by more than 30 men, is also facing accusations of sexual misconduct in other cases. The Los Angeles District Attorney is currently reviewing a sexual assault case with one man who claims Spacey assaulted him in Malibu 3 years ago. And in London, authorities are investigating 6 allegations against the actor after multiple men there came forward. The Hollywood star, who's taken home Oscars for his roles in American Beauty and The Usual Suspects.
You just needed the will to do what the other guy wouldn't.
I'm certainly not going to pay the price for the things I didn't do.
And releasing this bizarre video online on Christmas Eve titled, "Let Me Be Frank," channeling his House of Cards character, Frank Underwood.
Another hearing is set for March 4th. Spacey does not have to make an appearance at that. The judge also warned him to stay away from his accuser and his accuser's family. Robin.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. And joining us now, our senior legal correspondent, Sunny Hostin, and also criminal defense attorney, Mark Garicos. Appreciate you both being here. Sunny, let me start with you. You come from the perspective of a former prosecutor.
Sure.
How strong is this case?
You know, I think when I was prosecuting these cases in the late 90s and the early 2000s, I would have said this is not an easy case to prove, primarily because sex crimes generally aren't reported. Victims don't want to come forward. But we're in a different time right now. We're in the Me Too movement. I don't think anybody would have thought years ago that Bill Cosby would be serving a 3-year prison sentence. So I think this is actually a case about consent. I think there's video evidence in this case. You have a young man who has come forward and said, this happened to me. I think jurors are now more interested in these kinds of cases. I think they believe victims more often now, and I think this case is pretty strong.
I'm going to ask you about the video in just a moment,
Sure.
but Mark, I want you to weigh in. What is the best strategy for the defense?
I think already AJ's laid out what his strategy is. He's going to say, I think at the previous hearing they had talked about this idea. This was consensual, that they're going to say that the video that was taken doesn't show anything other than consensual. They're going to say they want the text messages because clearly the he was not being assaulted. He was texting at the time, number one, and number two, that he didn't report it for more than a year, even though he had been talking about it with his girlfriend in real time. So contrary to Sunny, I don't think it matters whether it's Me Too or Time's Up. I don't think this is a strong case from the prosecution's perspective at all. In fact, I would expect that Kevin Spacey is found not guilty in this case.
But Sunny, as you brought up that tape, that Snapchat video.
Yeah, you know, again, again, when I was prosecuting these cases, there were victims didn't come forward, and certainly there was never video. Now you have a case where there is video, and you also have a case where you have Kevin Spacey, sort of putting out this creepy video where he's talking like Frank Underwood from House of Cards. You have a lot of other victims that have come forward. You have Kevin Spacey also saying to one of his other alleged victims, I'm sorry for any, this is Mr. Rapp, I'm sorry for any other inappropriate drunken behavior. And if any of that information comes forward in front of a jury, I mean, again, this case gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And Mark Garagos, he knows that I love him. If I were ever to get in trouble, he's the criminal defense attorney I would hire. But I think he's wrong here. This case gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
Mark, can they keep the other accusations out of this?
Well, I think you saw with Cosby, and you see with others who are publicly being prosecuted, that is what prosecutors do when they've got a generally weak case. They claim when they're in court that they want to bring in these other accusers because that's going to give you a common mode of operation, or it's going to give you a common scheme or for identity. It's really not that. It's usually to bolster what is generally a bad case. Interestingly, his lawyer in this case was also the prosecutor in the Specter case and used that other crimes evidence when he was a prosecutor. So he's well aware of that. It takes a case that is normally weak or that normally you would not bring if you're a prosecutor, and it probably pushes them over the hill and makes them want to bring a case like this. And I don't disagree with Sonny for a second. I'm sure if the lawyer had to do it over again, he would have pulled back the Frank Underwood video. That was not one of the great things that you would want unless you got a mental defense going on.
Can I just say this very, very quickly? Sure. Kevin Spacey plied this young man with so much alcohol. How does this young man consent when he's that drunk? That's going to be a big issue in this case.
All right, Sonny and Mark, thank you so much. And I love the respect that you have for each other.
He's
thank
a
you
wonderful
for that.
attorney.
Thank you for that. All right, we'll see you on The View.
We love each other.
Always appreciate your perspective, Mark.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.